Welcome to Nerd Sports. Let me get my camera set up. Today we're going to talk about the book of Boba Fett. That's what we're talking about. It was awesome.
We can cover that. We can cover that in the nerd portion of the show.
You don't put Boba Fett in the back. You put him up front. You put Boba Fett up front. And guess what? This is our 30th episode.
Well, to be fair, I mean,
sports.
Mace Windu did put his dad's head in the corner.
That's true. Actually, it was an arena, so he put him in one of the circles.
See, it's how you keep a blonde in suspense. Tell him to go pee in the corner. Or you confuse a blonde. You put him tell him to go pee in the corner. Then they confuse the hell out of you by showing the corner to you.
Yeah. Okay, I can see that.
All right, so like I said, we will get to the book of Boba Fett here in just a minute. But
our picks, you were saying our picks weren't that great.
Oh yeah, no, I'll get to our NFL picks in just a minute. I want to talk about the World Series. I called, at the beginning of the World Series, I said the Braves were going to win in 6, right?
Yeah.
The Braves had a chance to clinch at home for the very first time last night during Game 5. Pitching kind of shit the bed there. AJ Minter, who's from Tyler, Texas, came in to pitch for the Braves, and he was pitching to Martin Maldonado, who was quite possibly the worst offensive catcher in the history of the game. And the guy didn't even pick the bat up off his shoulders, and he walked him, walking in the go-ahead run because the game was tied at that point. I mean, Adam Duvall hit a first inning grand slam for the Braves, and the Braves couldn't hold a 4-0 lead. So I mean, credit to the Astros, they didn't roll over or anything like that. They and we've got people leaving as I'm trying to talk. Go on, go away.
Are you in a hotel room?
No.
Oh.
No. I'm at my girlfriend's house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I don't arrive to the sprawling metropolis there known as the great city of Boston until Wednesday. But I mean, tip your hat to the Astros, man. I mean, they're facing elimination, and they didn't roll over when that grand slam got hit. So I mean, they kept chipping away, and they kept answering with runs, with 2 runs here, 2 runs there.
There's a lot of people that are pissed off about the people doing the tomahawk chop.
Yeah, well, ESPN came out with an article about it today. I posted it to my personal Facebook page. ESPN can go do something very unsavory with itself because, you get that whole get woke, go broke kind of a mentality.
Yeah.
And, people are going to just start to tune you out after a while. I mean, these same people that are now saying that everything is racist, hell, breathing is apparently racist, math is racist, we need to get back to a time when people understood that you were just going to have to expect to get offended at some point by some means. And you have the ability in this country, hell, you have the ability in this world. It's just not exclusive to America, but you have the ability in this world to walk the hell away. Keep scrolling. You don't want to watch something, you don't want to hear something, change the channel. Hit mute on your TV. Hell, turn the volume on your radio down if you're watching or listening to the game on the radio. Do whatever it is that you need to do until said offensive activity is over, and then turn it back up, turn it back on, or just like I said, keep scrolling. And
well, a lot of people haven't gotten that far only because of what's happened in the past. Well, a lot of people are like, "Oh, this is a new thing." It's not a new thing. It's been out there since, and I keep on repeating this. It's been out there since the 50s.
Yeah, I
Since,
mean,
since the what was the it was, man, I've been blanking out a lot of times today. So I don't know if I'm tired or whatever, but that whole witch hunt they did in the 50s. What was it? McCarthy.
oh, the Red Scare.
Yeah. Well, no, it was the McCarthy era
Yeah, the Red
stuff.
Scare. Yeah.
Yeah, it was also
If you
called the
were
Red
if you
Scare.
were even suspected of being a communist, you were paraded out in front of a Senate congressional hearing, and you were blacklisted from everything.
That's writers and all kinds of stuff, but it just got so ridiculous to the point where there are innocent people that are getting shafted really bad.
Yeah.
They just gotta people have to understand, in this country we have freedoms. We can be assholes and be, but we're just putting it out there.
Yeah. I mean,
But
we're voicing our opinion because we have the ability to do so. Thank you for the, thanks to the First Amendment, which is protected by the Second, and people have the ability to express themselves any way that they want. It's like the whole Dave Chappelle thing, right? Where he made a comment during his special called The Closer, this newest one that came out on Netflix. I don't know if you've had a chance to watch it or not.
yeah, I was one that told you, asked you if you watched it beforehand.
But but I mean, he was talking about, he's like, you can make all kinds of racist jokes, but the second you cross the line, or the second you start making trans jokes, or jokes about the LGBTQ community, oh, no, that's too much. And he's like, really? I mean, and I completely and totally agree with him. And at a certain point, we're going to have to just start acknowledging this woke mentality as a mental disorder. Argue with me, fight me, change my mind, do whatever it is that you feel that you need to do. But me trying to tell somebody that humor comes in all forms and fashions doesn't make me a bigot, doesn't make me transphobic, doesn't make me homophobic. It doesn't make me it doesn't make me an Islamophobe. It doesn't make me a white supremacist. It doesn't make me anything except somebody with a twist, with a jacked up sense of humor.
Yeah, like buying a clock from Iraq, and it goes backwards when you start it.
Well, that would be an Afghanistan clock, but yeah, I get what you're talking about.
Yeah, but anyways,
but yeah, no, I mean, but seriously, I mean, Major League Baseball stepped on its, for all intents and purposes, it stepped on its dick earlier this year when it tried to get it, enter itself into politics by removing the All-Star game from Atlanta because of its quote unquote racist voter protection laws. And now, because they're having to go into Atlanta for World Series play, and they potentially have to award the Commissioner's Trophy, hopefully tomorrow night, whenever Game 6 gets played here in Houston, which I am not going to that game because I just simply do not have the $250 for a ticket. Anyways, I'll get to that in a minute, but it's ridiculous, man. It shows weakness. I mean, you're a corporate, I mean, for all intents and purposes, Major League Baseball's front office is a corporate entity. That's it. They're a governing body for, 30 Major League Baseball clubs to participate in an organized and then ultimately bracketed postseason schedule. And that's it. That's their job, to govern the sport of baseball. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Anything past that, shut up and get out of the way. You're not qualified to speak on politics. You're not qualified to speak on most social issues because you want to talk about removed and disillusioned? That is the front office. They sit in their offices high above, high above the street noise in New York City, and they make decisions based on what they feel is best for the game, as opposed to listening to the voices of the people who pay for their salaries, i.e., you and me as a fan, who put our butts into seats, spending hard-earned money to attend these games. And it's like,
It's going off on deaf ears, really.
yeah, I mean, they don't listen to the fans. They don't listen to the owners. They don't listen to the players, you know,
I
and
mean, if they want to pay attention to stuff like that, they should pay attention to the NFL after that whole kneeling thing, where their popularity and their viewership dropped dramatically.
oh yeah, when dudes started taking a knee for during the national anthem, viewership, I mean, their ratings plummeted. I mean, it went straight through the floor, and they lost millions of dollars that year in revenue because people just weren't tuning into the games. People weren't going to the games. I mean, you still had your diehards, you still had your season ticket holders that were still attending the games in person, but people just they were tuning out the NFL because that's a it's a sport. It's not a political platform. And we've made that argument before on our show, that, I mean, like when LeBron tries to interject his omnipotence upon the common masses here about how he's not just he's not just some puppet to, I forget what his exact words were, but his job is not to just dribble a ball. Well, no, that is in fact your actual job, is to dribble a basketball and play a game. We don't want to hear your personal opinion that is shoved down our throats using your platform as an NBA player. We don't want to see Major League Baseball inject its opinions and views down our throats based on their platform as a governing body for the game of baseball. Just like we didn't want to hear about the NFL supporting these guys' rights to kneel for the national anthem. Yes, well, it is their right to do so. They are at their job. They are on the clock, and we pay their salaries. Yes, okay, the ownership or the owners pay their contracts. True. But where do you think the owners get that money from? They get it from merchandise sales. They get it from revenue generated from ticket sales. They get it from advertisers and sponsors. But those sponsors rely on us to get to the stadiums, and they rely on us to tune into those games, to see their ads, to buy their products, so that way they can afford to pay the NFL owners. So the NFL owners can in turn afford to pay these athletes. When I tune in to watch a game, I don't want to hear about somebody's political beliefs. I don't want to see somebody, espousing their social beliefs. You're there to play a game. You're there to play a game. If you want to sit there and create a second Twitter account or a second Facebook page that is not a verified account to espouse your personal beliefs, by all means, go ahead, because the internet is full of ignorant ass people on both sides of the aisle that talk out of their ass without verifying any facts.
Exactly.
I think, I think that a lot of people would benefit from, us as a society doing our homework before we decided to write those checks that our hummingbird asses obviously can't afford to cash. So it's. I mean, to me, it's just flat out ignorant, but it takes away from the stage of the game. It takes away from the scope and the significance of these games. Regardless as to what somebody, for example, okay, so regardless as to what people may think or feel about the Houston Astros as an organization and individual players that play for that team, they're putting up a hell of a fight against the Atlanta Braves. And by contrast, the Atlanta Braves, they are doing a remarkable job against the Astros. Because the Astros are going into this heavily favored, because, I mean, they are a high octane offense. They're with the exception of maybe a couple of holes again, like Martin Maldonado, they're a great offense. Their pitching staff is loaded with people who have great stuff. So they're heavily favored against the 88 win Atlanta Braves. And the Braves are taking it to them. They still have a series lead, 3-2 going into tomorrow night for game 6. And, I think that Atlanta can put it away tomorrow night. And I think that they will. But, the political political ramblings of these governing bodies and the people who are involved with playing the sport, it takes away from the game itself. It really does. I mean, if you want to be known and you want to be seen, do it with your skill as an athlete. Set yourself apart that way, the way that we used to, versus jumping on some bandwagon platform that you have absolutely no knowledge of, or what knowledge that you think you have is being fed to you via a very biased media that is regurgitating the talking points of whatever political affiliation that you happen to be a part of. And I'm tired of it, man. I really am. Is that going to keep me from tuning into the game? No. Why? Because I love the game of baseball. I'm a romantic about the game of baseball. I think I've made that abundantly clear. But, getting back to, the World Series, man, I mean, there's so many things going on within this series that it just, dude, it makes for great television. It really does. And, like last night, I was listening to game 5 while I was on the road driving down here to Houston. And, I was listening to the Atlanta home broadcast, and and these guys are not homers by any stretch of the imagination. They were bagging on their team, especially whenever Dansby Swanson was making a critical error at shortstop. And so, I'm just like sitting there going, it's entertaining to me. And, so I mean, but I love the fact that baseball kind of parallels itself on a daily basis, during the regular season, during the postseason. Like, for example, this day 5 years ago. Okay, well, 5 years ago Tuesday, so it'd be 5 years ago tomorrow. Rajah Davis, who played for the Cleveland Indians back in 2016, they were playing the Cubs in the World Series. So they get to game 7, right? And they're trailing in the 8th inning. And so it was great, because like he's sitting here facing Aroldis Chapman, who homeboy can throw 500, not 500. He can throw up to 105 mile an hour fastball, right? And I mean, they were up 6-4 with like 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th, and they were playing the game in Cleveland, so Cleveland was up to bat. And Aroldis Chapman comes up there, and he's throwing fastball after fastball after fastball. Rajah Davis, later when he was being interviewed about that at bat, he said, he said he kept fouling off all those fastballs, and it was just helping him dial in his timing. And he was sitting fastball all the way, and he absolutely unloaded on a ball and hit a 2-run home run out to right or out to left field. And he was like, that's I mean, it was one of those moments. It was one of those moments that you really started to realize that Aroldis Chapman is quite possibly one of the bigger choke artists in Major League Baseball. But I'm not a Chapman fan at all. I mean, the guy just, no. But you get those moments, where that defines a player's career, and they can go back and they have like team reunions or whatever like that, and they can talk about that moment. They can talk about what they were doing at that exact moment when that home run or that play happened. So I mean, Rajai Davis, he permanently endeared himself to Cleveland Indian fans. And yeah, I'm going to continue to call them the Cleveland Indians because, as you know, I'm sure you saw the article. I brought it up, I think, last week. There's a Cleveland roller derby based team that is called the Guardians, and they filed an injunctive lawsuit against the Cleveland Indians baseball team for trademark infringement.
That's funny.
So I'm rooting for this roller derby team to win that case. Because I mean, that's part of that woke mentality. It's like, oh, now all of a sudden we're offended by the name Indians. We're it's like, seriously? Next thing you know, the Kansas City Chiefs are going to change their name. I mean, and I'm not saying that they will, but I'm just, I mean, where are we going to get to next? Somehow the Pittsburgh Steelers name is offensive because steel workers who worked during the 60s and 70s, who were all dying off of cancer from the carcinogens they were breathing in at the foundry plants, now all of a sudden want recognition, and they feel that the name Steelers is not doing it because the team blows. I mean, come on.
But actually, that might actually happen.
That was a long-winded way of getting a dig on the Pittsburgh Steelers, but
that was a good joke, though.
I was invested in this postseason for baseball because the Red Sox were in it all the way up to game 6 of the ALCS against the Astros. But when the Atlanta Braves knocked off the Los Angeles Dodgers, the defending world champions, I'm like, I've got an underdog to root for in this World Series. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm invested in this entire postseason. And am I worried about the potential lockout for because of the collective bargaining agreement? Yeah, I am, because I'm worried about the health and the future of the sport that I love. But as of right now, I mean, I'm just focused on enjoying the stage that is that this game is being played on, and the stories that are involved with this World Series, just the events that are happening during the games. I'm absolutely loving it. And it's just, as a fan, it's incredibly fun to watch. Yeah. But moving on, I want to touch on NASCAR real quick before we move into football, because football is going to take up a majority of our time here.
Yeah, because there's a lot that happened this weekend.
Yeah. So the race was in Martinsville, Virginia. And the trophy at Martinsville has become a grandfather clock, a legitimate grandfather clock. And this is the one trophy almost the whole year, next to the Harley the Harley Earl Harley Earl trophy, the one that they give to the Daytona 500 winner.
Mm-hmm.
This is the one trophy for a singular race that drivers absolutely want. Right? I mean, some drivers go their entire careers without getting a win. Some guys go and they get multiple wins, but they never win at Martinsville. Dale Earnhardt Jr., it was like a couple of years before he eventually retired. He kept thinking, he kept going to these races with his dad, and his dad had like 4 or 5 of these things, right? And he was like, he's like, he wanted one so bad. And he kept thinking, he's like, I'm on the backside of my career. I'm starting to think I may never get one of these. And when he finally got one, man, I mean, he was just like, in his post-race interview, he's like, we are going to drink a lot of beer tonight. And that's exactly what they did. But this weekend, it's a playoff race, and it was actually the cutoff race before next week's championship race in Phoenix. So the championship 4 has been decided. So we know who's going to be racing for the championship next week in Phoenix, Arizona. But this week's race winner was not a championship contender. It's Alex Bowman. He drives the number 48 Ally Bank Camaro for Hendrick Motorsports, right?
Okay.
He was bounced out of the playoffs during the round of 12, and he ended up winning yesterday. But he did it. I mean, he raced clean for the most part all day long. And he got spun out by, he spun Denny Hamlin, who races the number 11 FedEx car for Joe Gibbs Racing, right? Well, this isn't the first time that Denny Hamlin has kind of shown his ass, but after a race. Um, I mean, Bowman has 4 wins this season as opposed to Denny Hamlin's 2. And Bowman said he didn't want to crash anybody, and he hated the fact that he wrecked Hamlin. Um, and Alex Bowman at one point during the race actually gave up the lead to Denny Hamlin, but then took it back. Right? Gave up the lead, let Denny Hamlin pass him, only to pass him back. Right? Because at the time Denny Hamlin had the faster car, but Bowman got the advantage on him, put together a couple of really great runs, and had his momentum carry him through corners, and he made passes. He said, I literally gave up the lead at Martinsville. He's been on the other side of that. He's crashed guys here for wins. He crashed Chase Elliott back when Chase Elliott was a rookie running the number 24 Napa Auto Parts car for Hendrick Motorsports, right? So, the fact that Denny Hamlin has no problem putting the bumper on people, but you do it to him, oh God, it's like the world ended, and all of a sudden you're a no talent driver. Alex Bowman said, he's like, I just got into the turn, got loose underneath him, and it spun him out.
Oh, wow.
And he goes, regardless, we got a friggin' grandfather clock, and it's pretty special. He said, I've struggled here for a long time. I was trying to get the flag, do a backwards victory lap, which is what Mark Martin used to do. And he's like, Mark Martin is like his hero, but
It's so well, I'm actually looking at these. It's a different design. The grandfather clock is actually a different design per year.
yeah. I mean, it's a unique one-off that this
Yeah.
grandfather clock produces for this race. But so I mean, Denny Hamlin, he gets in there and he drops an F-bomb on live TV.
Oh, really?
And he should. If he does not get punished for that, if he does not have points deducted, or because back in 2004, Dale Earnhardt Jr. put together a string of consecutive wins at Talladega Super Speedway. And when he won his 3rd race in a row there, they were interviewing him in Victory Lane. He was like, he goes, man, that don't mean shit. My dad here won way more than that, but we're just going to enjoy this one. He dropped the word shit on live TV, and he got docked 25 championship points, which ultimately helped cost him the championship that year. But Denny Hamlin drops the F-bomb. He better have something done to him, as far as points are concerned, because if not, boy, you want to talk about pissed off. People are going to be mad as hell, and they're going to hold NASCAR's front office and their director of competition they're going to hold their feet to the fire, and I will be one of those people. And it's got nothing to do with the fact that I'm not a Denny Hamlin fan. I just think that the guy, he's just the dude. His head barely fits in his helmet. His head is that big.
I don't know anybody like
And I'm not
that.
talking physically. I'm talking ego-wise.
Yeah,
But
I got you.
they were interviewing Denny Hamlin after the race, and he's talking about Alex Bowman. He goes, he's a hack. He's an absolute hack. He gets his ass kicked by his teammates every week, and he's just fucking terrible. He said that. He said he's just terrible, and he sees one opportunity and he takes it. But obviously, he's got the fastest car every week and runs 10th, so he didn't want to race us there. But and it's like, we had a good clean race. I moved up as high as I could on the racetrack to give him all the room I could, and he still can't drive. Like, dude, this is not a good look for Denny Hamlin at all. And
every time you say his name, I keep on thinking of Down and Out.
Might as well be, because when he talks like this, when he throws little fits like this, it makes him look just as trashy. It really does. I mean, it makes him look like that over 40 pot belly, Fu Manchu goatee wearing, mullet, greasy hair guy who is struggling to stay relevant.
Yeah. What was Danny McBride's character's name on that?
Oh God, you would ask me that. It's been forever since I've watched that show.
Hold on. I already have Google up. So
But like this, we got Kyle Larson, who's leading the world in wins this year with 9. Chase Elliott, with Martin Truex Jr. and Danny Hamlin, who are the championship 4 drivers. So it's down to 2 organizations, Hendrick Motorsports and Joe Gibbs Racing, to race for the championship next Sunday at Phoenix Raceway. I'm thinking Hendrick Motorsports is going to take that home. Just because, like, Chase Elliott won there last year when he clinched his first championship. But Kyle Larson is on the hot streak of hot streaks right now. Like I said, 9 victories this year, leading the world in points. He should have a cushion like no other. The scenarios are going to play out. The scenarios are going to change during the race as drivers swap positions, or they I mean, it's gonna come down. Ultimately, it's going to be who wins that race. And I think it's going to be between Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott. They're going to be fighting it out to find out who wins that race and ultimately who wins the championship.
Kenny Powers.
That's right. It is Kenny Powers. Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, a lot of these other drivers that have like made a name for themselves as being just absolute whiny crybabies, like Kyle Busch, he's settled himself down. Brad Keselowski used to have a big mouth. He settled himself down. Kurt Busch, I mean, that guy was constantly getting himself sideways with other drivers in the garage. He is now one of the respected veterans in the garage. You got Denny Hamlin, who consistently comes up runner-up, it seems like almost yearly on these championship races. And he lets his temper get a hold of him, because when Alex Bowman tried to do his victory burnout right there at the start finish line, Denny Hamlin, instead of going to pit road to have his car inspected like he was supposed to, goes over and blocks Alex Bowman's car to keep him from doing a burnout.
Well, that's just being a little bitch.
Yeah. And you could, on the radio, Denny Hamlin's crew chief was like, think bigger picture, back off. And it wasn't until then that Denny Hamlin decided to put it in reverse and park his ass on pit road like he was supposed to. So, I mean, the fact that he went after the race winner after the race was over in his car and then drops an F-bomb on pit road during his media interview right there. I mean, those are actions detrimental to stock car racing. That should warrant a points deduction. I mean, they're not going to disqualify him from the championship 4, because that would just create all kinds of hate and discontent. And NASCAR's trying to become above that, but they do need to assess him at least some kind of penalty, whether it's a 5-point penalty or a 10-point penalty. I mean, the F-bomb alone, dude, should be worth 35, 40 points. I mean, yeah, you made it to the final 4, but unless you win this race with a couple of stages, it's not going to matter. They should at least, I mean, 45 to 50 points. I mean, I think the most points that you can win during the course of a race is like 41 or 42 points, something like that, right? I mean, they need to basically dock him worth a race worth of points. Yeah, you made it to the final 4. Awesome. But it doesn't matter what you do, you're not going to win. You're not going to become the champion this year. And I think that the governing body needs to step in and say, hey, look, you're going to have this done to you, and it's going to set an example. We're going to set a precedent for people who are going to have their tempers flare out the way that you had them do, and then run your mouth the way that you did on national TV. Make our sport look bad? No, sir. We've got
every inch that you described this, it just sounds like Kenny Powers.
Yeah, I mean,
like it's just ridiculous. I mean, we've already
got a moped and a fanny pack. There you go.
Yeah, and dreadlocks.
Yeah, that's right. Kenny Powers did have dreadlocks at one point, didn't
he? Yeah.
But but now we're moving on to our dreadful picks for week 8.
I'm glad you're picking that. I'm not.
Dude.
We could have a dartboard of of teams, and me just throwing the dart at the freaking board would probably be the same
Yeah.
way.
So I'm going to start with the Thursday night game, Green Bay against the Cardinals. I had
You did
Arizona
call
pick
that
to
one.
win the game.
I thought you had Green Bay.
No, did I?
Hold on, let me pull up our
Pull
stuff.
up our Facebook post. If I picked that game correctly, I'm going to be so surprised.
Oh, and I was talking to people. They're like, "Oh, you do picks of the week?" I was like, "Yeah, we do picks of the week, but you have to watch the show and find out why." And then that's the benefit of watching the show, is actually getting a reason why we did we say something on our Facebook, even though most of the stuff. Now you had Arizona over Green Bay.
Yeah, okay. I had Arizona over Green Bay. So that was a 3-point loss right there. That was horrible. The Jets beat the Bengals. I had that going the other way. I did pick Tennessee over Indianapolis, so I got a win there.
Yeah.
Interesting note about the Tennessee game going forward into next week. Tennessee running back Derrick Henry has a broken foot. So he's going to have surgery to replace the bone to repair the bone in his foot. And they signed Adrian Peterson, 36-year-old Adrian Peterson, to the practice squad for the Titans. They're going to elevate him to the active roster, and he's going to try to work himself into that offense. So that'll be interesting to watch. I had the Rams.
Why does that name sound so familiar?
Adrian Peterson used to play running back for the Oklahoma Sooners, and then he was drafted by the Minnesota Vikings, where he played a majority of his career. He was the guy that a while back he kind of dropped out of football after he was outed for beating his kid with a stick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I had the Rams over Houston, so I got that one right. I had the Browns beating the Steelers. Steelers beat the Browns 15-10. And I expected this one to be I expected this one to be my loss for the week. I picked the Lions to get their first win of the season over the Eagles. The Eagles actually showed up and played football this week. They beat the Lions 44-6. And it was the largest margin of victory on the road since week 10 of 1981 for Philadelphia. But they had to do it against the winless Lions. Go figure. I had San Francisco over Chicago, so I picked that one correctly. I said that Atlanta was going to beat Carolina. Carolina actually beat the Falcons, so I was wrong on that one. I had Buffalo over Miami. Buffalo beat Miami 26-11. Each of the last 12 wins by Buffalo have been by 10 or more points. And that's the longest streak since the 98-99 Rams, when Kurt Warner was the quarterback, I believe, for them. No, that was the season before Kurt Warner. I had the Chargers beating New England. New England, is shocker, came back and won that game 27-24. And, interestingly enough, this is the 6th straight game that the Patriots have beaten the Chargers. So there's that. I had Seattle over Jacksonville. Seattle beat them 31-7. I had the Redskins. I had Washington over Denver, and Denver beat Washington 17-10. Washington is now 4-13 versus non-divisional opponents since 2020.
Damn.
I had the Buccaneers beating New Orleans, and the New Orleans Saints figured it out, and they beat the Buccaneers 36-27. Now Brady did surpass Drew Brees for the most games with 4 or more touchdown passes since 1950. Breeze held the mark at 37. Brady's got it now for 38. And then I had Dallas over Minnesota. And this was the one pick that I was kind of leery about, because when I made the pick, Dak Prescott was scheduled to start that game. And so when Dak Prescott was announced as being out for that game because of his calf injury, they wanted to rest him an extra day or two. They inserted their backup quarterback, Copper Rush, I believe his name is. Let me look.
No, I have it already up. Oh, I had it already up. I was looking at Dex Prescott or Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush went 24 of 40 for 325 yards with 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. And you know, I mean, the Cowboys had to come back to win that game, but they ultimately beat them, you know, in regulation. So 20-16. So you got to hand it, man, to the Cowboys. I mean, these dudes are, I mean, I think I think it's time to, here we are going in from week 8 to going into week 9. It's time to legitimately recognize the Cowboys as a serious contender for, you know, for the NFC title. I mean, really.
Well, surprisingly, every time there's always been some kind of injury with the Cowboys.
Yeah.
For at least the quarterback, they actually, when they switch over the quarterbacks, there's only been like a couple of instances, but they usually do quite well. It's strange.
Yeah. I mean, and here this is one of those stupid little factoids. Cooper Rush's rushing touchdown, or Cooper Rush's pass to Amari Cooper is in the fourth quarter was the first touchdown, passing touchdown in NFL history where the passer's first name and receiver's last name were an exact match.
Wow, that.
All right.
I mean, I was like,
they will come up with a stat for anything these days, and I think it's hilarious.
Yeah. I was like, wait a minute, who the fuck cares?
Right, exactly. Kirk Cousins, the quarterback for the Vikings, he had a 65.7 completion percentage. He threw for 184 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. He had an 88.3 passer rating, where Cooper Rush comes in off the bench, first NFL start, gets a 92.2% passer rating. And, you know, I'm just sitting there going, wow. You know, and Dallas even had a missed field goal. Go figure. It was like during the first quarter, a 14-play drive. It started on the Dallas 25. They went 50 yards, took 6 minutes and 30 seconds off the clock, and it resulted in a missed field goal. Yeah, it just, you know, it's just, there's an incredible amount of missed kicks this year, from extra points all the way, I mean, to field goals. And
it might be.
I just don't know I don't know if it's one of those ebb and flow kind of a things, but I really,
it might be a conspiracy because the kickers want more money.
Well, they need to go about it a different way. Let's just put it that way. All right, so let me pull up a notepad here real quick.
Yeah, you got your picks for week 9.
Yeah,
that's one thing. That's one thing I wanted, because it was this weekend. Hold on. Oh no, it's upcoming weekend. Never mind. Damn it. The Army Air Force game.
Yeah, it's this coming weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, Army and Air Force at AT&T Stadium in Arlington. One, I'm going to be in Boston for that game.
Damn
So
it.
I'm
I'm
going
gonna
to
be
be
in
in
Fort
Boston.
Worth.
Yeah, well, neither one of us would have been able to afford those tickets anyway because they priced out normal guys like us. They're basically treating it like an alumni reunion for both schools.
That's crap.
Yeah, so I mean it's plus plus the fact that Jerry Jones is needing to pay for the donated time for this game. I don't know, man. Anyway, so all right, so we're gonna start with our Thursday night game. It's gonna be the Jets at the Colts. I'm gonna take the Colts over the Jets. And then we're moving into Sunday. So Sunday, there's going to be the Falcons playing, or Atlanta playing at New Orleans. I'm going to take the Saints. Saints over the Falcons.
What about the Raider? Okay.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
Slow your roll. Pump the brakes there, Thanos. Denver's going to be playing at Dallas. I'm going to take Dallas over Denver. See, New England's going to be visiting Carolina to play the Panthers. With the Patriots coming off of their win the way that they did, that game's going to be a little evenly matched, but I think I'm going to take New England. I'll take New England over Carolina.
What's really sad is I forgot today was Monday. Because I'm looking at the week 9 of how many people are the teams that are going against and everything like that. And I scrolled up and I was like, New York Giants and the Chiefs. I was like, fuck, is it Thursday already? Did I fuck up somewhere? And then I'm like looking at quarter 1. I was like, wait a minute, today's Monday. Monday Night Football, you dumbass.
Yeah. So the Vikings, who just came off of that heartbreaking loss to Dallas, they're going to be visiting Baltimore to play the Ravens. So I'm going to take.
I actually been to a Baltimore Ravens game.
I'm going to take the Ravens over the Vikings. And then we have the Battle of Ohio. Cleveland is going to be visiting Cincinnati. So it is the Browns versus the Bengals. I'm going to take the Bengals.
At the Browns this time?
Huh?
Not the Browns this time?
No, I'm going to take the Bengals. They seem to have their shit together a little bit better than Cleveland does right now. Buffalo at Jacksonville. Jacksonville is going to continue to wallow in their mediocrity, and I'm just giving them a promotion by saying mediocrity. So I'm going to take Buffalo over Jacksonville. If I could spell correctly. Thank you, spell checker. All right, there we go. The Houston Texans are going to be visiting the Miami Dolphins. Miami. Oh.
I don't know. Miami might actually.
I mean, they're both 1-7 right now. You know what? I'm going to give the people in Houston something to root for because they're going to be wallowing in a World Series loss. So I'm going to take the Texans over the Dolphins. I mean, dude, if not, dude, I mean, I'm talking about. I mean, because it's still relatively warm. It was pretty warm here today. It was 79 for a high here today. So I mean, like technically it's November. I could still go to the damn beach if I wanted to.
Well, come Wednesday. Actually,
Wednesday?
come tonight.
You will
It's supposed to
not
be like
catch me at the beach in New England right now. No, sir.
Wow. No, that's not what I was saying. We're getting all that rain and everything next couple of days.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to rain, but I'm saying today would have been nice enough. I could have gone to the beach and actually enjoyed myself. And no, not that way. Shut up. 5-2 Raiders are going to be visiting New York to play the Giants. I'm going to take the Raiders. Giants. Chargers are going to be at Philadelphia. Let me see here.
Actually, Chargers have a pretty good team this year.
They do. Which is why I picked them to win over New England. But I mean, they still put up like, I think it was like 13
fight.
Points. You know what? Yeah, I'm going to take the Chargers over the Eagles. Packers are going to be visiting the Chiefs. This will be Patrick Mahomes' first game back since the concussion. Well, actually, no, that's tonight. He's playing tonight. You know what? No, I'm taking the Packers over the Chiefs.
I don't know, because already so far in the first quarter, they already got like one touchdown. So,
well, it's just
the New York Giants. Yeah,
it's the Giants. The Arizona Cardinals against the San Francisco 49ers. Now, whatever miscommunication that Kyler Murray had with his receiving core the other night that resulted in their loss, I think they're going to get that hammered out in practice, and they're going to have one of those coming to Jesus meetings, like pull your head out of your ass when I throw the fucking ball at you.
Yeah.
I'm going to take. I think I'm going to take Arizona on this one.
Our friend might be a little bit upset at you on that one.
Yeah, well, you know what?
He's a diehard 49ers fan. He has his thing out of his front yard that it basically.
This is going to be the portion of the show where I piss off the LGBT community. Does he have a rainbow sticker on the back of his car?
That you have a good point there, but no, he doesn't like the Cowboys.
Oh, then that's all it is. He's just an anti-cowboy guy, so he's going to pick somebody. It just see that logic.
No, he really loves the 49ers.
Okay, all right. Well,
40. He met
well,
him.
Who's probably going to watch this episode? So to that particular person, I'm addressing you, sir. Yes, I am knife handing you through the camera. Okay. I know that you probably don't have a rainbow sticker on the back of your car. And if you did incline that way, that's none of my business. I don't care. I mean, it is what it is, right? So there we go. If you want to come at me, David can provide you with my personal Facebook inbox information. Do with that information as you please. Otherwise, have a Coke and a smile and shut the fuck up. Okay, so
he would actually love this, but he doesn't listen.
So now the Titans are going to be visiting the Rams. I'm going to take the Rams on that one.
I don't know.
Look, man, here's the thing. Derrick Henry's out. Adrian Peterson's going to be coming back, and you know that this dude is not fast anymore. He's not going to possess the ball handling skills that he needs. His vision, his field vision, his football IQ may be up there, but it has been forever since he's taken a live game speed snap. And so I don't expect Tennessee to do a whole lot. Their secondary may be able to keep up with their receiving core, but the Rams are going to try to establish a running game because the Titans won't be able to. And that is it. It's going to be a close game. I think that the Titans will give them a run for their money. They'll come up a field goal short. I'll just say that.
Yeah, it would it will be a very, very tight game on that one.
Yeah. And so our prime time contest of mediocrity is going to be Chicago on Monday night, going to Pittsburgh. I will take the Steelers over the Bears.
Did the Bears lose any players from last year?
Oh, dude, it's practically
Brand new team.
It's practically a new team. Teams that are on a bye week this week are the Lions. Because let's face it, when you're 0-8, the last thing that you need to have is a week off to sit there and further stew in the fact that you absolutely blow nuts. So if you are a fan of this show, listen to the show, stumble across this show by accident, whatever, and you know anybody that plays for the Detroit Lions, call in and check on your buddy, because they're possibly not in a good place this week.
They're definitely not. I think they're trying to get that contender spot to get the first draft.
Yeah, they're tanking, and I think at this point they're tanking, because they're looking for that first overall draft pick. But the Detroit, Seattle, Tampa Bay, and Washington all have bye weeks this week. So Tom Brady has an extra week to figure out the kinks in his game. But past that, those are the picks for the week. Let me go ahead. No. All right. We're going to cut. Let me go over here. You know what? And I don't even want to talk about Logan Paul, because that dude just annoys the shit out of me.
No.
We're going to go to facebook.com. Yes, Facebook, not Meta, because that's just.
They haven't changed it yet.
It's like, I'm not going to ever call it Meta. Did you go, hey, did you see my Meta post? I'm like, dude, that's just no.
That just sounds weird.
Me exercising my First Amendment rights to call you whatever the hell I want. All right. Let's see here.
Oh my God. Really?
What?
He wants to fight Mike Tyson.
Yeah, even if it was an exhibition, dude, I want Mike Tyson to hit this guy so hard that his ancestors feel it.
Dude,
I want his disappointed mother to wake up in the middle of the night on fight night with a pain in her chest. No, let me back up. With a pain in her head that is throbbing. And then she realizes her son just got knocked back to the Stone Age. I mean, really, like
you want him to get punched.
I want Mike Tyson to present his mother. This is my hot take. Okay. I want Mike Tyson to hit him so hard that he presents his mother, that Mike Tyson presents Paul's mother with an opportunity to re-raise her son, so that way he does not grow up to be an insufferable dickhead. That's it.
I could see that.
I
still think it would be so funny that he knocks him so hard, but he knocks him back into the uterus.
All right, so our week 9. Our week 9 picks are posting, and there we are, just now. So there we go. Week 9 picks are on the board. Let's see if I can fare a little bit better this week than I did last week. Last week was just, God, last week I felt like the Jets. I was able to actually string a couple of things together, but at the end of the day, ended up walking out of the locker room feeling like a member of the Detroit Lions. Like I walked into it going, it's like Vincent Vega, John Travolta's character from Pulp Fiction, where he's like,
yeah.
So yeah, there's that whole thing there. But tomorrow we are going to, my girlfriend and I, we're going to go get a hotel room in Pearland because we're flying out of Hobby International Airport. And our flight leaves at like 6 a.m. on Wednesday. We've got a layover in Baltimore, and then we're gonna head on, continue on to Logan Airport.
Well, hopefully you don't have that bad of a trip. The groom was having a bad for knockbacks. Of course,
Really?
where are you flying with?
Southwest. Don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
I'm not trying to put that evil on you, man. It's what's happening right now. There's a lot of layovers.
Yeah, we intentionally had layovers built into our itinerary.
Oh, okay. You might not have
Because direct flights, nonstop flights are ridiculously expensive right now. But so on my Facebook page, I saw this amazing t-shirt today. And it said, tacos are better than pumpkin spice. Fight me. So I took that, I plagiarized the shit out of it, and I put it on my Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, I am getting all kinds of one person, both are awesome, and I'm like, okay. One person goes tacos, tacos, tacos. I'm getting another one of those like the Carrie Ella's gift where he's like, that one. I'm getting one person saying totally, and these are white girls saying this. I'm like, yes, white girls who are rebelling against the pumpkin spice overlords. It's like Dune, where like, he who controls the spice controls the universe.
Yeah.
So,
but we haven't talked.
I'm getting a Team Skelton, response on my post. It's great.
Man, I went to Joey's today. I tried to have some of their barbacoa.
Yeah,
dude, for a Mexican restaurant, their best thing is just the breakfast. Their barbacoa has no flavor into it, man. I mean, that one roach coach and Justin that we went to.
Yeah,
that was good barbacoa. This place, it's so dry, has no taste to it. There's like, oh, we'll just make barbacoa, but we won't put any flavor into it. These white people won't know any difference. I was like, and someone came up to me, huh?
I want to bring something up real quick. All right, so every year during the postseason, specifically during the World Series, they take time during the broadcast, the TV broadcast, to do this stand up to cancer thing, right?
Yeah.
Jerry Remy, who is a longtime broadcaster and former player in the major leagues.
Oh yeah, he
died yesterday. And he's been a fixture in the Red Sox radio television booth and radio booth at some points since 1988. He grew up a Red Sox fan, dreamt of playing for the Red Sox, and did. I mean, he was a great player, great broadcaster, and he was a friend to hundreds, thousands of people. And he'll be missed, and he really will. He really kind of just he connected with a lot of people on their radio broadcast, and the Red Sox brought him out for the ceremonial first pitch during that wild card game against the Yankees. And he was going through cancer treatment at that time. And it was actually like his second or third round battling cancer. And, you know, I mean, it baseball as a whole really lost somebody when Jerry Remy died. And it was lung cancer. So, you know, and there's a broadcaster. He now does television games for the San Diego Padres, but he goes by the name of Don Orsillo. And he, for the longest time, was in the television booth on NESN, which is the New England Sports Network, calling Red Sox games with Jerry Remy. And these two were a pair. They called games together for 19, 20 years, 21 years. Okay. Don Orsillo put out in a tweet dated yesterday, "Thank you for 21 years of friendship. I am nowhere today without you. You showed me the right Major League Baseball way. I know I will text you 3 times a day. Still, I am lost. Rest in peace, Rem." And Dennis Eckersley, who is in the NESN booth now, because he was filling in for Jerry Remy, says, "Red Sox Nation has lost a beloved icon. I lost a longtime friend, teammate, and broadcast partner. He'll be remembered for his passion for the Red Sox. I will miss him for his most infectious laugh. And Fenway Park will never be the same." The Red Sox, their Twitter account, put out, "This weekend we lost our beloved Jerry Remy, a former player, broadcaster, and Red Sox Hall of Famer and friend. For over 40 years, the Rem Dog captured the hearts of Red Sox Nation. Our thoughts and countless memories are with Jerry's wife, Phoebe, and their family, and our friends at NESN." This guy, I mean, Joe Buck even took time. I don't know. Let me see if I can get this to play. Tell me if you can hear this.
Well, the Boston Red Sox, their enormous fan base, and the rest of the baseball world mourn the passing of Jerry Remy, who last night lost his long battle, 13 years to battle with cancer. Nicknamed the Rem Dog, he embodied every aspect of being a core part of Red Sox Nation. He grew up in Somerset, Massachusetts, an hour drive south of Fenway, dreaming of someday playing in that storied ballpark for his hometown team. Had a 3-year stint to begin his career with the Angels. Real good second baseman. Named to the 78 All-Star game for the Red Sox. As Maton deals. Strike one on Duvall. 2 key late inning hits in that infamous 1-game playoff that year against the Yankees in 78. Knee problems curtailed that playing career in the mid-'80s. He joined the Red Sox broadcasting crew in 1988. He was a force in the booth all the years since. He would have turned 69 next week. There's a strike into Adam Duvall. He's run away in the bottom of the 6th inning. If Red Sox Nation had an emperor, the Rem Dog would be him.
You know, I mean, for Joe Buck to take his time to recognize a regional broadcaster on national TV, I mean, that speaks volumes as to the kind of force that Jerry Remy was. I mean, his unique New England accent in the booth. I mean, this guy lived and breathed everything Red Sox. And, you know, when I read it when the news broke. I mean, it affected me because I've been fortunate enough when I had the MLB premium package where you could watch games out of market. I was able to watch the Red Sox home broadcast on NESN and loved it. Loved listening to Don Orsillo. Loved listening to Jerry Remy. I mean, I love the radio broadcasts on WEEI, the radio or Boston Sports Radio up there, listening to Joe Castiglione and Will Fleming. But Jerry Remy, he really brought an intangible quality to the broadcast. I mean, he was just a knucklehead like the rest of us, but you know, he got to do what millions of fans have wanted to do. You know, he got to play for his home team and he got to call games for his home team. He never left the organization.
Yeah.
And
his passion was baseball, and that's what he always wanted to do, and that's all he wanted to talk about.
Exactly. I mean, he'll never, ever be replaced. And I don't really think that people want to replace Jerry Remy because those shoes, I mean, honestly, those shoes are too large to fill. And there is a petition started. It's on change.org. I signed it today. I also contributed $20 towards, you know, the advertisement of that petition. But it used to be called Yawkey Way, which is the street that runs out in front of Fenway Park. It was changed to Jersey Street. But now there's a petition to change Jersey Street to Jerry Remy Way. And I would highly suggest, when I signed it, there was 1,345 out of the 1,500 needed signatures. Go out there on Facebook, find it, go to change.org and find the petition, sign it, contribute to the cause. I mean, because if there was any one individual that was deserving to have a street named for him, especially in you know, outside of the, you know, our beloved ballpark, you know, America's most beloved ballpark, you know, it would be Jerry Remy. And, you know, Joe Buck, as much as I can't stand the guy, he nailed it on the head. I mean, when he said that if Red Sox Nation were to have an emperor, the Rem Dog would be it. And you know, so I mean, there's a lot of things that are going to be missing next year. I mean, the play on the field is going to be the play on the field, and the team's going to do what the team needs to do. Personnel are going to change, come and go, you know, what's that, whatever. But it's going to be that voice coming into your living room, coming into your bars, you know, whatever it is that you happen to be watching that broadcast. For a lot of people like me, for Joe, you know, like for me, I traditionally like to listen to the radio broadcast just simply due to the fact that, you know, I don't have the premium package. So I listen to the games because listening to games on the radio to me is a little bit more nostalgic, and it's a little bit more of an intimate kind of a thing because you have to focus on what's going on versus watching the games on TV where you can kind of tune it out and still get a bigger picture.
Yeah.
I look at Joe Castiglione as kind of like an unofficial member of my family 6 to 7 months out of the year. And depending on how long the playoff run runs, you know, how the playoff run lasts for the Red Sox season. For a lot of people that exclusively watched the games on TV, they're going to be missing that voice, that candor, that humor, that unique laugh that Jerry Remy brought to the booth. He brought to the games. He brought to a lot of people's families, their homes, and he made those games. A lot of those games that came out on the wrong end, like they were blowouts and the Red Sox were just getting worn out. He made those games tolerable to watch because people were tuning in for the Rem Dog. And now that we don't have him anymore, you know, people are going to wonder, who are we going to replace him with? Who's going to try to fill those shoes? And whoever it is that gets offered that position, they have to recognize, I mean, they have to. I mean, this is a necessity at this point. They have to be able to recognize the size of the shoes that they are having to fill. And they need to pay homage to Jerry Remy. And it's not that we're elevating this guy to like deity status or anything like that. I mean, he was, like I said, he was a knucklehead like the rest of us. He just got to live a very blessed life, doing what he loved with the game that he loved for the team that he loved. But whoever attempts to fill that role, they're going to have to bring their game every night. For 162 games, they're going to have to bring their A game. And, you know, there's that, what is that old cliche is like, often imitated, never duplicated.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah. I mean, that's good. That's exactly what it's going to be. And it's going to be interesting this week going up to Boston and spending time around Fenway and going into Fenway on Thursday to see how many references to Jerry Remy there's going to be. And I'm going to take as many photos as I possibly can while I'm up there. Not only just the Fenway trip, but just the surrounding areas like Cambridge, Salem, Plymouth, the North Bay, stuff like that. But it's going to be interesting to see how many pictures of Jerry Remy are going to be up all over town. And I mean, I'm looking forward to the trip, but I'm also looking forward to being able to kind of go and, you know, pay my respects in my own way to Jerry Remy while I'm there. So yeah, so I mean, there's that. I hate trying to end the show on a somber note like that, but it's well, no, because we still have to talk about the book of Boba Fett, or Boba Fett. But I saw how you rolled your eyes a little bit there. You were like, "Oh, really? Oh, okay. Now I can participate in the show." But yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it, and yeah. So that being said, I yield the floor to the senator from Wichita Falls.
Dude, it looks so freaking awesome, though. The book of Boba Fett.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the. I'm kind of wondering how the twist is going to be on it, because he was like, I know it's going to be something to the fact of he says he's like, Jabba ruled by fear, and I'm going to rule by respect, and it's going to, at the end of the whole series, it's going to flip, and he's like, no, he's going to rule by fear.
Well, I think it's going to be like, you're either going to respect me or you're going to fear me. You know, kind of a situation. He's going to give the people an opportunity to respect him, but I think he's going to put a lot of people down.
Yeah.
I mean, Ming-Hua's character, she was like, you know, there, you know, some of those captains or whatever, the different clans, or some of the higher up people were sitting around that table, and she was like, Jabba wouldn't have talked to you. He would have fed you to his menagerie. And they were all looking around like, she has a point. You know, it's like
this guy wants to know our opinion. Oh, he only wants to know our opinion so he can trash it down. Oh, okay. Well, at least I'm not dead. But I mean,
I just saw that meme you sent.
Oh. Did I post? If that's the first time you
post, no, it just hit the one about the meat lovers pizza.
Yeah, it just means I didn't post. No, I haven't posted. I posted it in our group, but I haven't posted it in our.
Oh man, Oh, okay. Yeah, that is going to be great. It comes out December 19th or something like that. 29th.
Yeah, December 29th.
Yeah, December 29th. That's going to be cool. I'm looking forward to that. Hawkeye actually comes out this month. So there's
actually this week, and Eternals comes out, and then
so when I get back, I've got my boys next weekend, so I've got a lot of Marvel coming up next week.
Yeah,
So
I think it's the 16th. I'm not sure.
I know the Eternals comes out. Not that the Rotten Tomato, not that the Rotten Tomatoes ratings matters for anything, but the Eternals has gotten just a completely crap review by Rotten Tomatoes.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess
Marvel had all this certified fresh streak going with their Marvel movies.
I guess Disney kind of didn't pay them. You know, that was actually true. Is for a while Disney was actually paying Rotten Tomatoes to give them good reviews.
Hold on, my dad's calling. Hold on just a second.
All right.
Hello. Hey. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
What his dad is talking about is what we posted on our Facebook, what I posted on a lot of other of my groups that I've actually had was let me get this up.
Hey, right now I'm recording an episode of the podcast. I'm going to put you on speakerphone. Can you go ahead and repeat that part about the Commandant of the Marine Corps? All right, hold on a second. All right, so the situation with the Marine Corps, our Marine vet from
Mr. Walford.
Mr. Walford, yeah. So my dad went to the American Legion post meeting tonight. He has an update about that. Go ahead, Dad.
Okay. The nephew got in contact with the Commandant of the Marine Corps' office, and there'll be a letter of accommodation signed by the Marine Corps, by the Commandant of the Marine Corps, going to Mr. Wolfer here in the next few days, take to his uncle. Now, he also got a accommodation and a flag from Governor Abbott's office, because his uncle is a native-born Texan.
Awesome.
And not to be outdone by the governor of Texas, Senator Ted Cruz is an accommodation and a flag. Then they got a hold of the city of Escondido, where his uncle lives. The mayor of Escondido is a Fulbright retired Marine colonel. He is going to have a neighborhood parade in front of this guy's house to honor him. Police, first responders, fire department, all that. Then, not to be outdone by the mayor of Escondido, the commanding officer, Camp Pendleton, is sending a contingent of Marines to march in that parade and render honors. So this thing is taking on a life of its own.
That is badass. Like, I got goosebumps on that one.
I did too. It's pretty bad that both of us get goosebumps on this. Fuck.
That is cool.
And I just posted it. I just posted it like this weekend.
The city of Escondido is that, based on just the fact that it was sanctioned by the American Legion post, specifically post 169, which Falls, is how this is all taking place. So
that's awesome. Well, hey, let me wrap up this episode and I'll give you a call back here in a minute, okay?
Okay.
All right, later.
That is
that's
awesome.
Cool.
When did y'all's Legion posted that stuff?
Well, I put the word out last month at the post meeting to have everybody tell everybody to buy birthday cards for this guy. They collected all the birthday cards tonight and handed it to Mr. Richardson tonight, the nephew of the Marine.
Yeah.
And he's going to be flying to California to spend his his.
I could have dropped that off. I already mailed mine. I mailed mine like today.
Well, no, it's fine. You mailed yours. Great. Awesome. But Jim Richardson is taking just a load of birthday cards to this guy.
That's awesome.
So
I was worried about that because I put it in a DB post, Veteran Affairs post, and Band of Bravos, which that's probably around about each group is about 100,000 people in there.
Yeah, but I mean, the fact that a contingent of Marines is going to march in this parade, stop in front of Homeboy's house, and salute him.
Yeah.
That is out fucking standing. Give Marines a bunch of shit for being a bunch of crayon eaters all we want, but I tell you what, when it comes to honoring their own, the Marine Corps does that shit right.
Yeah, I know. That is freaking awesome.
So
it's like that post I posted. It's like, what organization helps the mentally handicapped and blah blah blah? I was like, the Special Olympics? No, the answer we're looking for is the Marine Corps. I forgot.
I forget where I was. We were I think it was at work, actually. And one of the places that we had to go do a job at, the guy was a Marine.
Yeah.
And he had absolutely zero clue that I was a veteran. And so when he was like, yeah, I was in the Marine Corps, I said, what's your favorite crayon? What's your favorite flavor? And he looks at me and he goes, Blue, how did you know to ask me that? And I was like, Army grunt. He goes, fucking Army. I was like, yes. So I mean, it's just it just absolutely, I mean, from top to bottom, good for Mr. Wolford. I mean, absolutely.
I'm so happy that we were a part of this.
Yeah. And when I get back from Boston, I am going to get a hold of his granddaughter, and I'm going to seriously, I'm not going to wear her out, but I am going to reach out to her and be like, hey, so that way you and I have time to get our questions put together, so that way we can give her our questions so she can get him prepped to do an interview, because I really feel like we need to give him a stage.
Yeah.
To tell at least a part of his story, because we could even use this as our parting shot for the episode. But you and I, both being veterans, we understand that people within our community, we have a very unique perspective on American history because we were a part of it.
Yeah.
And
I mean, when 9/11 happened, we were the people that went overseas. Well, I know that.
Right.
You didn't get the chance to.
But we have an oral history that needs to be passed down. There's some way, shape, form, or fashion needs to be recorded and preserved for prosperity. Because if we leave it up to the knuckleheads that write our textbooks,
I've already seen that.
They'll classify the United States military and as a fascist group. I mean, I don't, the way that things are going in our country nowadays, I would not put it past that to happen.
I'll send you a video. I gotta find it again. But there was an episode of Babylon 5 to where
I'm rewatching that on Netflix, by the way.
I think it's the last episode, I think, of season 4 or season 3. I'm not really, whatever they did, the Shadow War.
Yeah.
It had been season 4.
Yeah.
But
because that's when the writing got really good.
Yeah. And then they dropped the ball at
they pulled a Game of Thrones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Game of Thrones pulled a Babylon 5. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, there you go.
It's funny because you go back and like you watch the pilot and you watch all the CGI and computer animation.
Oh
crap.
God, it was so crap.
You were like, oh my God, this was state of the art back in the day. Because I remember watching that show when it first came out, going, that looks so lifelike. And now I'm looking at it like the Nintendo 64 had better fucking graphics.
Yeah. And also
wow.
the fact of what was really interesting, that was actually the first show to where it went to the point where if you missed an episode on one of the seasons, you didn't get a lot of it.
Yeah.
Because there was a couple of episodes that went back to the beginning of the first season. It was all one big loop.
Yeah. I mean, it really focused, it really put a premium on writing.
Yeah.
And I would love to see that show get not necessarily rebooted, but continued,
Well, they tried to continue with they've done a couple of direct to TV movies.
Yeah.
Where they revisited Babylon 5 and everything like that. And they weren't as good. Like what was it? Crusade?
Yeah. Well, I know now, like there's some Facebook groups, there's some Facebook pages out there where there are people who have leaked that they have signed on to a project involving the continuation of the story. And it's supposed to be like either a Netflix or a Hulu original.
I hope they drop that Crusade.
Like they retcon it.
Yeah, because it was really weird. It's like, oh, Earth is now a quarantine planet because of this. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't come up with anything better. I know this is TNT back in the 90s, but Jesus. I mean, they did the whole
that's right. That
Mortal Kombat.
TNT. That's right. That's
right.
And
in that same time frame in the 90s, they did that whole Mortal Kombat TV show.
Oh God, that was horrible.
That was free. I tried to watch, and this is coming from a kid that loved Mortal Kombat, and I tried to watch it. And I was like, "What is this crap?"
Right. Exactly.
I could go out and find me a hobo and have him throw shit in my eyes, and probably be basically the same thing. You gotta admit that was a good one.
It was. I mean, it would be like I don't know, for some of our younger crowd, it would be like growing up watching Dragon Ball Z and then trying to suffer through the live action movie.
Yeah.
Speaking of live action, I am looking forward to Cowboy Bebop coming out on the 19th.
Is it the 19th? Yeah, it is the 19th.
It is.
Man, there's a lot of good movies coming out for this Christmas. That's another thing. Because the 16th, the 16th or 18th.
Yeah, and then Thanksgiving we've got Ghostbusters Afterlife.
No, that's the 16th to 18th.
Yeah.
One of those dates.
Yeah, you're right.
Forget. Yeah.
Anyway, so the month of November is going to be big.
I know.
Have you heard, or let me look this up?
It was the 18th because my birthday's on the 14th, and it takes a week for them to do that stuff. So 4 more days, so it'll be out on that Thursday would be Ghostbusters. Yeah.
I'm trying to find out what the freaking release date for Top Gun Maverick is going to be
this summer. I think it's going to be on July
next year.
Yeah.
Okay. Because there was some confusion because they were like, oh, it's going to be out in the holidays, and it's like they keep pushing it back because they're looking at the Marvel schedule and they know that they can't compete, so they're looking for that dead spot between Marvel releases. And I'm like,
is there a dead spot nowadays? mean,
between Disney Plus and theatrical releases. No, I don't think there is, but
they're like Christmas. There's going to be a shit ton of great movies coming out. We got Spider-Man. We have what was the
Spider-Man?
What was the other thing that we wanted to watch coming out Christmas? Fuck.
Yeah, well, but I'm going to get off here because I'm hungry and I want to go eat dinner. And I actually want to converse with people and hang out and do normal adult things before.
What do you consider normal?
For people who have a love life. How about that?
Fuck.
See, I didn't want to say that. I didn't want to do that to you, man.
You're fucking loser.
You made me do that to you. You
know what? I can do the same.
You made me do that.
I can do the same thing. All I have to do is go to the bathroom, and it only takes me about 5 minutes.
You know what? Just right here, choke yourself, man. God, no, don't.
I think it's.
That would just make it weird because you would just, erotic.
It's only weird if I look at you in the eyes when I do it.
It's only gay. It's not gay if it's the TSA, dude. That's what I'm just saying.
Yeah. No, I guess Spider-Man
Grunt Style came out with that, or was that Ranger Up? I think it was Grunt Style came out with
Aquaman.
That's right.
Aquaman.
Yeah, Aquaman too. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this out. And
yep.
But yeah, make sure to give our Facebook post a check out, a look for our week 9 picks. I will scour the internet, as I'm sure you will as well, for news articles pertaining to Mr. Wolford's birthday celebration. November 10th is going to be the Marine Corps birthday. So let's give our crayon eating brethren their day. Army versus Air Force this weekend. Go Army, beat Air Force.
I don't know why you would say that. We've already beat the Navy.
It had nothing to do with the fact that you're Air Force and that Air Force has already beat Navy. So we need to beat you in order to have an opportunity to retain the Commander-in-Chief.
I don't think that's real. I mean, you know what? Since you're the lower of the species,
here we go.
the higher up there, I'll go ahead and let you have your fantasy. But when reality hits you,
so when reality comes crashing down on either one of us,
you what?
Don't want to go here with me, because trust me, I can out asshole you all day long.
No, that's impossible, because you're not going to be willing to go as far as I will.
Well,
the only reason,
at the risk of pissing off our LGBTQ, listeners, man, you don't want to open that Pandora's box.
Anyways, maybe we should do a gentleman bet for next week.
Okay, I'm listening.
Okay. If Army wins, whoever wins, the other person has to dress up as a clown for the next episode 31.
With Halloween just having concluded and Spirit Halloween is closing their doors for another year, you're going to be hard pressed to find a clown outfit.
You know what? I'll pick it up from Walmart tonight. They got shit on clearance.
I'm so glad that you're investing so seriously in your future.
I am. I really want to see you do this. I want to put the makeup on you.
Oh, no. No, that's not happening, bro. Yeah, okay, sure, fine. All right. Okay. Because the Army is actually running an actual offense, has a way better Air Force. The Air Force just happens to have uniforms that look shiny, but you know
what? Whatever. Oh, so rainbow or just straight red?
You know what, dude? You're the one that's going to be wearing it. So
I don't think I could get a wig because when I went up to Walmart on Sunday, I went to go pick up my allergy medicine. Or no, I went up there Saturday. It was like slim picking to begin with.
You might want to check Party City.
That's right. That's right. We still have Party City. So, okay.
Just do us a favor. When you leave the studio in your clown outfit, do not walk around the neighborhood because you will have the cops called on you.
Quite possibly, yes. And I'm
buddy.
just saying makeup and everything. But I'm David
All right,
Dickerman.
man. I'm Johnny Skelton.
And thank you for watching Nerd Sports, episode 30. We made it this far.
Yeah. Keep it classy, San Diego.
Yep.